Okay. It says I'm live. I hope I am. Got a little shadow right there on that. Let me turn this camera around a little bit here. Getting a little shadow from some of these overhead lights, little light dingy type stuff. Let me kind of make the camera look the best that it's going to look this morning and everything. I hope everybody's having a good morning, this Sunday morning. I'm feeling real good. I'm I'm not in my studio this morning. It is cold up there in my little studio, and I actually had a radio show yesterday morning, and I like to froze myself. I mean, it was. I mean, I got the a little electric heater up there, and I try to keep warm as best I can under the circumstances. But it's cold up there. It's cold up there. Hey, Jamie, how are you? How are you, Info Warrior? And I'm gonna let me try to let's see if I can change something here. I'm gonna I'm gonna add you as a moderator there, Info Warrior, and you can help out. And all right, now you'll see a blue tool beside your name when you sign. If you type something again, you'll see a little blue tool like Jamie's there. All the regular guys that I get in here and that are like to bounce in and out. I give them that blue tool, and then they can help moderate too, in case we get some crazy people that sign in. Every once in a while, I'll get something viral with the thing, and we have to kind of get moderators to help out. So that's what you are now, if you don't mind. And that kind of distinguishes you. You'll see your name come up blue next time you type something in here, and so I try to do that to people I see here a lot, and and a lot of people say, "Well, what is that little blue tool beside everybody?" And that's what that is, and that's the people that I know on a regular basis through our chat. So I try to do that. So now you are one of them, Info Warrior. I mean, I've seen you in here enough that I know that you're a regular and good person, as far as we can tell. And there you go. Now you see a blue tool beside. Yeah, yeah. I need to get a little. Uh, I've had those before. They burn out real quick, but yeah, those little propane heaters, those little good buddy things, they're pretty neat. And propane heat is way better than electric heat, especially in a small space. What I'm gonna probably do is insulate that little trailer a lot better too. I mean, because it just dissipates the heat some and the air conditioning too. If I'm running my air conditioning in there in the summertime, I mean it takes a lot to air condition it. I mean the air conditioner has to run pretty strong. So it would probably pay for me to insulate it good, and which I've got a way of doing that now, real easy. Well, fairly easy anyway. I've got some big insulated panels that I've got access to. Yeah, I tell you, that's one reason my Christmas is going to be good this year. I think we've got a lot less worry coming on, and I'm not as concerned about the future like I would have been had uh, Harris or Biden or anybody, Walsh or anybody else would have got in there. I'm feeling a little more at ease. Hey James, how are you? Yeah, I'm happy with that. The outcome. I mean, it's made a lot. It's 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 done a lot for my psyche, I guess you might say. Yeah, yeah. I don't even like to mention those clowns. Uh, yeah. Well, it's you know I think we got something to look forward to. At least I feel like we do. I think we've got you know good times ahead. I mean, if we can get over these hurdles of him getting his cabinet in place, and I hope he'll be able to get the cabinet that he wants. Uh, I think the Matt Gaetz, he probably threw Matt Gaetz to the wolves right in there right quick to show how radical that he can go, and they knocked him down quickly. And now Pam Bondi will probably go through with flying colors, and she's a good lawyer too. I mean, she's been uh, a really good proponent for him over the years, and he's aligned himself with a lot of good people that he can trust now, so that's good. Well, that's the main thing, is to keep us out of World War III, and I'm afraid that was the direction we were heading, and still, even as Biden goes out, he's trying his damnedest to disrupt things, and he's trying to pardon everybody, that he can think of. No, I did. I never did. I messed around. I was so busy with stuff this week. I've been. I know it doesn't look like it to y'all, but I've been busy. I get out and get involved. I had the closing on my building. We bought another building right beside me, and we had the closing on that last week, and we had to meet with the guys again on Monday and Tuesday on some things. Jim got sick this week, so Jim wasn't able to do a lot of things for me, and I was busy with the radio. I did a radio show yesterday, and just all in all, a little bit busy, and I haven't sat down and watched many videos at all. But I have to do that. I watched Dirt Monkey a good bit, so I'll have to go through there and watch his videos. Yeah, I think Pam Bondi's a pit bull too, and that's what he's got to have. He's got to have several pit bulls. That's what Pete Hetzke's. He's a pit bull too, and I think the Pentagon and all those guys are afraid of him. I think they're afraid of what he'll put in place, and we've got to clean up some of this stuff. We've got to clean up a whole bunch of this federal government crap. I mean, to think about all these people that only like 1 or 2% of the employees are even coming to work. I mean, they're out lounging around doing all kind of things. I mean, I guess it's great if you can get by with it, and that's what so many of them are getting by with. I gotta lubricate the old voice here a little bit. Yeah, I think Cash Patel will be good too. I mean, he's another pit bull. Like I said, he's got plenty of pit bulls in his arsenal right now, and I hope he gets them approved and gets them out there, and we'll be better off for it if we can get that. I mean, there's a lot to be done, and so I hope and pray that he will definitely get his act together and be able to get all these guys that we want up there, and we'll see. Time will tell. I mean, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but he has definitely hit the ground running big time in comparison. I mean, you think back about it. I mean, it was almost after January 20th, the first time, before you heard of any nominees or anything. You didn't hear about anything, and he was kind of going by a couple of people's advice. Oh yeah, this is a good person. That's a good person, and you go back and you think of all the John Boltons and idiots like that he ended up with. I mean, that was some crazy people. Yeah, yeah, they're still fighting off the virus, aren't they? That's the thing about it. It's crazy. Well, that ain't gonna happen. You can't automatically give citizenship, and if he were to do something like that, I think that would be rescinded. I mean, they could do an executive order and rescind that. I mean, that is so stupid. I mean, that would disrupt the entire immigration system. But they are trying to disrupt things on their way out, which makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, why do you want to hurt America by your stupidity just because you want vengeance on the other people, or the person coming in? Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad he was set back a notch. People need to go to work. Although some of them need to be eliminated, is what they need to be done. And if you think the DMV is slow for you, just try to get the government to work for you. And we've got too many regulators, right? I mean, well, we've got too many regulations. I mean, that's one reason that uh, Elon Musk has been so good about it. I mean, he's talked about. I know a lot of y'all probably seen where he talks about they made him figure out if his rocket uh, the rockets when they landed in the ocean, if they would hurt sharks, and they made him do a big study about that. And then after he found out it wouldn't, then they made him find out if it would hurt whales. I mean, it's ridiculous, just totally ridiculous. And you know, what do you say? Yeah, well, you know, e everybody, all of us, I will say this to everything, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die of something, and unless it's you've got somebody out there with a machine gun mowing you down, you're not gonna have to fight it like that, and that's what some people are thinking, is like some of these diseases or whatever are out there mowing people down with a machine gun, and that's not happening. Good morning, Roadrunner. Let me Roadrunner. You're in here a lot too. I'm trying to clean this up. I'm gonna add you as a moderator too. I added I added Info Warrior. I've got you added as a moderator now because you're regular enough, and I try to keep all the moderators. Listen, now you'll see the blue tool beside your name. Well, yeah, they're trying their best to do that. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. They I guess the old thing is postal workers, they couldn't mail it in, could they? Right. Yeah. Well, you're welcome, Roadrunner. Uh, but that's the thing about it. You you can't uh, you can't mail in and email in as it is today everybody's job. I mean, everybody's noticing now. I mean, AI is taking over on a lot of things. So a lot of these people probably could use and probably are using AI to fake a report and all kind of stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. I doubt he's going to change them to the 51st state, but I think as people notice, he makes good jokes and probably realizes. I mean, we're the ones that help defend all these countries. We're the ones that, if somebody were to attack Canada, they have us to back them up, and they know that. They know that we're the military might, and we've got to keep that, and that's the way it is. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. The Amish didn't die off like that because they didn't turn on the TV, which they didn't have anyway. So they didn't know to be scared about something that you shouldn't have been scared about. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, I know it. Yeah. The DEI is a thing of the past now. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Uh, I mean, think about it. Uh, if you're picture yourself, if say you're in school, say like you're in the third or fourth grade, and the teacher gives out a test, you study hard for the test, you work hard, and you get like a 95 or something like that. You're real proud of your 95. And then this other person who made 65 because maybe he's a certain persuasion, he thinks different or whatever. The teacher puts him up there higher than you at 95 and says, "Oh, look at little Johnny or little Joey or whatever. We're gonna promote him on up above you because he checks these boxes. He is the we're going to give him a DEI grade ahead of you." Well, that's what's happening to the American public, and you don't need that. I mean, get out there, work hard, get what you get, and that's it. I mean, we don't need somebody to be given something just because it checks all these boxes that you want. I mean, that is ridiculous. I think it was great too that the Amish got out and voted in packs. I mean, most people, a lot of people have heard, what happened. There was one Amish uh, farmer up there that got arrested, I think, and got shut down on his uh, stuff that he was selling because it didn't meet the local criteria. And perfectly good food, good product, and everything else. And they basically just put him out of business. And the Amish were sick and tired of that kind of crap. And they came together and they said, we're going to have to vote in a block to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So they came out and they helped push Trump through in Pennsylvania. I mean, the Pennsylvania Amish uh, voted pretty much in a block way. And I think it was 90% for Trump, if not 100%. Knowing the Amish, it was probably 100%. But that was a big push and a good thing. And that's what we got to look at is we can't be pushed around. We can't be pushed around by big government. And I think Trump's trying to deregulate so we won't be pushed around. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, we've got to be deregulated in certain areas because it's just bizarre the way they treat us and all that sort of stuff. Let me try to move this camera a little bit. I'm gonna get those lights from. Uh, Let me bring it in a little bit. I don't know if that's any better. I mean, I'm seeing them in the background. I don't know if it's bothering y'all or not, but I see a couple of these lights back here that are kind of shining. Hey, Jerome, how are you? Yeah. Now, where are you out? You're out always traveling, Jerome. Where are you at today? Are you still in the same location now? I see you all over the place. You've been down my way a couple of times, I know. Picture's fine. Okay, good. I'm trying to make sure I give the best picture that I can come up with up here and everything else and the good audio. I hope my audio is good enough too, and that sort of stuff. And try to give the going east. You're going east Thursday. Okay. Oh, that's Info Warrior. Okay, where are you headed, Info Warrior? Now, where are you located, Info Warrior? I'm not familiar with your location even. I mean, I know Jamie's up in the Boston area, and when he's not in Florida, Jamie's probably in Florida right now. If Jamie's smart, he's in Florida. Oh me, because it is cold on the East Coast. Although we're supposed to warm up a little bit today here in North Carolina, we're supposed to get up into the 30s and 40s. Okay, you're in Western North Carolina. Oh, you're going to Carter. Okay. Okay, so you're in North Carolina like me. Okay. What town are you in Western North Carolina? Because I probably know, I'm pretty well versed on North Carolina. I probably have been through your town. In other words, what I'm saying, been in the former transportation business. I've been through most. Oh yeah, around Asheville. Okay, well, Asheville's a nice place. I mean, Asheville has been indoctrinated and been overrun by a lot of liberals in the past few years. Yeah, that's true. But just right outside of Asheville, I mean, it's not that way. I mean, I know they've even on the county commission up there. One of the racers, the guy, I can't even think of his name right now. Anyway, he was a former NASCAR racer. He got elected to the county commission up there. You're west of Asheville. Yeah. Okay. You're over there. How far over? You over there toward Clyde? See, I know Clyde. I used to actually do a switch out over at Clyde. And there's a town called Clyde, North Carolina, for you guys. And then Leicester. It's Leicester is another town over there. I think that's the way they pronounce it. A lot of people are Leicester or is it Leicester? I can't remember which way they pronounce it. It's either they pronounce it Leicester or Leicester, but it's spelled Leis. I can't even pronounce it. I can't remember the spelling. But when you look at it on the billboard, you go, how the heck do you pronounce that town? Candler. Oh yeah, I know where Candler's at. Yeah, I've been through Candler. Yeah, Leicester. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's pronounced Leicester, but yeah, it's a funny spelling name. It actually had a lot of historic value too, though. I was reading something about it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's got some pretty deep historical roots and everything too. But yeah, that's pretty territory out there. I used to like going up to Clyde all the time. I mean, I used to run to Clyde. That was one of my first set runs with RPS and FedEx. I had it out of Greensboro. I went from Greensboro, or really Kernersville. I went from Kernersville to Clyde, switched out with a guy coming out of Knoxville, not Knoxville, out of Chattanooga. We'd meet a guy coming out of Chattanooga, and then we'd switch and turn around and go back. And then sometimes we'd have to go from there to Clyde down to Charlotte, then Charlotte back up to Greensboro. And that was a tough run then, made it a little bit tougher. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, Asheville, just downtown Asheville is where it's the blue, right in the city limits and all that. So, and that's where a lot of the liberals have bought in and run the prices up of the housing too, and different things like that. But yeah, I've got a friend that lives in Montreat, and then I've got some other friends that live right. Well, my brother-in-law, he actually built a place up above Asheville, well, between up there and Banner Elk. Out there, he's actually he's got a place in Minneapolis, North Carolina. A lot of people don't realize that there is a Minneapolis, North Carolina. Most people think of Minneapolis as Minnesota, but there's actually a Minneapolis, North Carolina. Oh, do you? Okay, so you know that I know the area. Yeah. Now, what do you do with the Billy Graham house? Are you working with the Billy Graham Crusade or the Samaritan's Purse, which I think is a fantastic organization? People ought to realize that Samaritan's Purse is a fantastic organization. They go in and really do work and do it efficiently and quick, help people, and do a lot more. They do way more than the Red Cross or the. I mean, the Red Cross is a. I don't want to get into political things with that too, but the Red Cross. My dad was never for the Red Cross. My dad, when he was in World War II, he talked about all the Red Cross people. He said that was a money making thing. He loved the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army, like 96% of their donations go to the people they're trying to help. With the Red Cross, look at your stats on it. You send money to the Red Cross, and half or better goes to the administration, and the other half maybe dwindles out to the people. So the Red Cross is a huge organization, but for the amount of money they bring in, they spend way more money on trying to pad their own pockets than somebody like the Salvation Army. And, we got a lot of other good organizations that do good too. But Samaritan's Purse, getting back to that, I think is a fantastic organization. And, a lot of people, because of because of the fact that Billy Graham's son aligned himself with Trump the last time, they really tried to run him down, but he's fantastic. They Franklin does a good job, I think. And I mean, if you don't like his politics, so be it. What he does, his actions show how good he is. I mean, that's the thing about it. What they do is way above any politics or anything else. Oh yeah, the paper mill. They used to have the paper mill up there, right up there around Clyde and Canton, North Carolina, is where the paper mill was. Now, they pretty much shut that down now. I think they were talking about some competitor came in and bought it up and shut it down and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the Canton. There used to be the old saying, talking about when you'd have to roll up your windows when you went through Canton. I mean, if you weren't used to the smell of a paper mill, I mean, the smell of a paper mill from a distance smelled like an outhouse. If you've never smelled an outhouse, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've ever smelled an outhouse or been close to an outhouse, that's what a paper mill smelled like, and made the whole city smell that way from a distance. Now, of course, when you get to going up there a lot and you get used to it, you don't smell it as bad. And people that lived up there, I had some relatives that actually lived and worked up there in the Canton area, and they couldn't tell the smell. I mean, it was sort of indoctrinated in you. I mean, you get immune to the. I guess it's similar to going to the bathroom. When you're in the bathroom, you don't smell how bad you smell. When you leave the bathroom and turn around, come back into that bathroom, you go, "Wow, did I do that?" Yeah, and that's sort of the way it is in Canton, or was in Canton. You get indoctrinated, or you get acclimated, not indoctrinated. You get acclimated to the way everything smells, and you don't smell it. Yeah, yeah, that's the way it is. All those paper mills. We used to have one south of here too, called Bowater, and everybody said, "Oh, you got to hold your nose as you go through Bowater and everything." But and it was. I always thought it was funny. It's sort of like BO water, but it was Bowater. It was the name of the plant down near Rock Hill, South Carolina, or down below Rock Hill. But that was that place. It was very similar to Canton, North Carolina. Oh, you service the boiler to Billy Graham's old house every year? Okay, okay. So so you work with a boiler manufacturer or a water boiler type organization. What's the name of your company or that you work with, or is it your company? Oh, was it? Okay, so you're just an HVAC. Okay, that's a great business to be in. HVAC, plumbing, electrical. I mean, if you got a job like that and you got skills in those trades, you're never going to be out of work. Not unless you just don't want to work. I mean, those are trades that, gosh, they'll be around forever, I think. I mean, because we're always going to need heat and air conditioning, and we're always going to need plumbing. We're always going to need electrical. So those are the trades to be in. I would encourage any young person to get in those trades if they can, and whatever level skill that you have. I mean, you can be entry level into those, or you can get more educated within the trade, go to trade school, get better degree in it or whatever. I mean, that to me, those are the way we need to teach people in the future. We don't need that. We don't need any more lawyers. We definitely don't need any more politicians. And for the schools, the way they're trying to train some of these people, I mean, we don't need that many more psychologists and social workers and all that kind of crap like that. I mean, that is not productive workers. I mean, those type workers are a dime a dozen, and that's what we've got. We've got the poli-sci majors out there and stuff like that. To me, that's that and journalism. I think those are worthless degrees. I mean, a journalism degree today, I mean, that's a joke. We don't have journalism at the top. I mean, journalism is so fractured and so politically slanted that we're never going to have good journalists again. I mean, I really don't think we're having to build our own journalists through media like mine on a small scale, but myself and millions of others like us now who can disseminate the information, and you can take it or leave it. What I say is not the gospel. You can listen to me, and if you like what I'm saying and what the people that are in our crowd say, you can listen to that and take it and go, I don't like this, or I do like this. That's the way I think. Here are the facts. Check out the facts. That sort of stuff. We can fact check ourselves, and there's enough community. Hey, Deep Lockett. Yeah, you can we can fact check ourselves by the community or the herd, I guess you might say, out there coming together and go, wait a minute, that's not right. I mean, if you were to say a rose was green and everybody looked at it and go, no, that rose is red. I mean, the crowd would tell you, no, that you're looking at it wrong. And that's what we got to have. Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to be a CNN, that's for sure. But you crazy thing about it, when Ted Turner started CNN years ago, it was really a great network, I thought, when they actually got out and did news. when you'd see a reporter in different areas. I mean, he had reporters all over the world. And to me, I thought it was very interesting. Well, now they're all huddled together in a couple of places in New York or Washington, and they think that's the world. Well, that's not the world. That's not, you know, you know, what they think in those areas is not the world uh, as the rest of us have to deal with. I mean, if you had a reporter, I mean, CNN, if they had a reporter, Anderson Cooper type or whatever, they said, "Oh yeah, I'm reporting. Yeah, my location is St. Louis, Missouri," and they had another one. Well, my location is in Jacksonville, Florida, or another one was I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, or I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, or I'm in Sioux City, Iowa. If you spread people around and you saw the entire United States like that, you would get a diverse kind of a reporting, but you don't. All you get is a concentrated propaganda right now. I mean, we got a propaganda from Washington, D.C. and the Beltway, or then you got New York City and all the tri-state area up there. That's their way of thinking. Well, there's millions of other people, and millions of other locations that need to be heard. You just got done moving the yard, not mowing. That's supposed to be a W. you, you moved it or mowed it? What? I'm not figuring that out. Deep Locket. You'll have to clarify that. I mean, I can get out and move my yard with my bulldozer or the skid steer. I can get out there and move it, but mowing it. Not many people are mowing this time of year unless you're, hey, Renegade, or unless you're way down the south like Renegade. He probably can still mow something. Yeah. Well, and it is what it is on those kind of things. I like, I guess I'm about to lose my train of thought here, but getting back to my general topic, I'm glad that we're getting around toward Christmas, and I'm glad that, we're going to have a better Christmas because of our situation politically. And I'm very thankful for that. Yeah, well, that's true too. Well, James, I don't think he could shovel it, could he? He ain't strong enough to shovel. I mean, the guy can't even put a shotgun shell in his own shotgun. I mean, how inept was that guy? I mean, it's so funny if people can't realize how inept and how unqualified those people are, but just by the way they ran their campaign. I mean, they tried to get out there and buy everybody, buy every celebrity. I mean, these celebrities ought to be ashamed of themselves by taking money. You're moving a trailer. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, he's a dumbass in my opinion too. I mean that guy. I mean, he even admitted himself that he was a knucklehead. Well, if you can't look at that dude and tell he's a knucklehead, I mean, he's something. I'm not familiar with that info war. What is the Smith Monk Act? Well, when we come to when we come to telling the truth, I mean, reporting the news and inventing the news are two different things, and that's the problem we got with the news media we have today, they try to invent the news. They don't try to report it. I mean, if you see a river is overflowing, you report that that river is overflowing. You don't try to invent some other scenario about that river. If the river does this and does so much damage, you show that. And what they tried to do is skew it and go, well, if it didn't do this and didn't do that, then this wouldn't have overflowed. You know, they try to really skew the news. And that's what we've got into right now, is how they warp the actual news. I mean, if you take pictures of an incident, I mean, for instance, the old CNN thing where they were showing Minneapolis burning down. In the background was the city hall or the police station or whatever. And they were showing that on TV, and it was not a riot. It was peaceful protesters. And in the background, all these buildings were burning down. So, yeah, we know that was crazy news. I mean, that was crazy news reporting. Disregard what you see in the background here. This building's really not burning down. These are peaceful protesters. I mean, that was a bizarre situation. Well, they definitely have been doing that. They're definitely spreading propaganda, and and giving their opinion. I mean, this opinion news ain't worth 2 cents coming from either side. I mean, I would rather have facts. I can form my own opinion, but I don't need your opinion to tell me what I see that is a fact. Like I said, if I see the sky is blue, don't show me a picture of it and say, well, the sky is really red. Or like when they showed a picture of Joe Rogan and then they tried to make him look green looking almost and pale and funky looking. And instead of showing the real picture of Joe Rogan, they tried to Photoshop it, because we've got some of these, so many people have these features now. They can change things, but show us the truth. I'll do that. Yeah, don't use Google. Well, a lot of people are getting away from, when they want to actually see some things, is to get away from Google, because Google slants it too. And Google was supposed to be a good thing years ago. Now it has collected everything. I mean, Google gets more information than anybody. I mean, I get aggravated with Google, all these people calling me and telling me, see, I have a lot of real estate and everything and some buildings, and they call me all the time. They go, your business isn't listed on Google. And I go, I don't care. They go, well, you need that. I go, no, I don't. I don't need my business listed at all. I'm not in the retail business at all. I said, what I do is my personal business. I said, I personally have a business. And they said, well, you need people to know where you're at. I go, no, I don't. They said, well, you won't be able to be found. I said, you found me, didn't you? So I don't worry about it. The people that want to find me. And I don't need Google, who owns YouTube, which we're talking on now, to find out more information about me. They know more information than you would imagine on everybody. So I don't ever try to enhance myself out there with Google, because Google knows plenty about you. I mean, and what they do is use your data. I mean, they want every ounce of data that they can get about every single thing on this earth. And because the more data they have, the more they can sell. I mean, it's like somebody looking into somebody else's mailbox. That's the way Google is to me. I mean, they want to peek into your mailbox and fumble through your mail to see what kind of mail that you're getting. so they can report it to somebody else on what kind of mail you're getting. I mean, that's Google in a nutshell, somewhat. They don't want to say that, but they are. Oh, I've told them, hey, Walter, you can tell them not to call anymore 100 times a day, because I tell them, and every single time I tell them that, don't call me. I'm not going to give you any information. I'm not going to buy your ad. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell an ad. They're trying to sell you on the fact that you need to use their service so you can be listed better. Well, no, I don't. Like I said, I don't need that. Don't need it. Don't want it. And believe it or not, I mean, you can actually, if you want Google to know more information about you, you can put it out there yourself. You don't have to have any of these tag along agencies to promote it in any way. I don't know. I mean, that's tragic. It's tragic that you can't be a CEO or anybody that would have a disagreement. And I think that was going to come down, in my opinion. I think that was a disgruntled uh, insurance person. I think that was somebody that was disgruntled. Maybe they had a loved one that had a claim or something like that was denied, or financially bankrupt them, or something along the lines of that, or a disgruntled employee. We don't know. Could have been a disgruntled employee. I think it's more along those lines than anything else. I don't think it was well, I mean, it wasn't random, that's for sure, because uh, he waited him out and took a bus from Atlanta, they said. So I mean, they will actually hone in on that. I mean, they'll be able to track, you know, routes from Atlanta. Of course, the guy tried to, he paid cash for about everything, and that's the other key. I mean, if you were ever to pull off anything like that, you better be use no credit cards. You better pay cash for everything. You better pay. Uh, you better not have any tracking of any sorts. I mean, anytime you have to show your license or anything, you're going to get caught. So those are the facts of life, I guess you might say. Oh yeah, well, even that, we got some Google devices and Alexa devices, and even when we're my wife and I, we laugh about it. We'll be talking about something, and it'll pop up on our computers. I mean, these things are so data driven that they can tag you and put you with something that's like minded, or something that you're speaking of or looking at, in just seconds. Or if you ever click on an ad, you're going to get bombarded with those kind of ads. It is, I mean, it's something. It is something. Uh, so that's the way of the future, I guess. But I don't give them any more fuel for the fire myself. Like I said, when Google and when Google and all these all these different things say, "Oh, you need to give us your information," I don't need to give anybody any information. I mean, that's my story. I mean, if you want the information is out there, and if it's not, so be it. You don't get it. I don't volunteer anything. I don't need any more phone calls than I'm getting right now. And the one good thing, if you use it right, Google does have ways of protecting yourself against people like theirself. I mean, they have screening devices, although I would imagine there's an algorithm somewhere in there that eliminates overprotecting you against them. You might say. I mean, in other words, Google's going to probably write it into the algorithm so Google can get through to you, but not anybody else. I mean, it's lopsided. It's one-sided for sure. Well, guys, my voice is getting raspy again, so I'm going to call it a day. I've enjoyed the conversation this morning. A lot of people's jumped in here. I think we've had a great conversation. Y'all get out there and have a great Sunday. I'm gonna watch a little bit of ball games, a few ball games. I'm not real excited. Yesterday's college was great. I loved yesterday's college football games, and so I really enjoyed that. But y'all have a great week, and I'm gonna catch you next Sunday and see you around. See you guys.